What they know is how they're going to rig it, and we don't know when they're going to do it and how they're going to do it. But again, as I was saying, why would you keep your money in a bank when they're not paying you anything and they're making money on your money? So going back to gold, and again, as you well know, everybody knows, we have no advertisers in the Trends Journal magazine. So we're not pumping anybody. To us, gold is the number one safe haven asset. When gold went down into the 1600s a few months ago, we said this is the bottom, it's going up from now. And now it's been hitting, several month highs. Again, when they go digital, gold is going to go through the roof, because that's going to be the only real currency that's going to be accepted to pay, to transfer, because they're going to do away with all the paper money. Again, the whole world has gone AI. It's a whole different world. It's a whole different world. And you know what? The biggest news now that's being watched is TikTok. That's not news. That's like beep, beep, bop, bop, bop. That's where it's all going. And so what we're saying is to protect yourself. By the way, what you hear in 25 minutes, words that you would hear in 25 minutes account to if 1/4 of a page of a newspaper. That's all you're getting. When you're reading, you're getting a lot more. And by the way, they call you Zia, right? And in my book, what Zitzi gave Honey Boy. and Zitzi is the Neapolitan dialect for auntie.
Yes.
So Zia, that was my auntie. We had one Zitzi out of all the aunts that you called auntie. But yeah, the kids, it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
It's an AI world. Look, one of my writers, the artist that does our work, Anthony Frieda, genius, and he was saying that now you could go on to AI and you could give them what you want to write, and they'll write the whole story for you, and it comes out almost like you wanted to write it. So what I'm saying, the whole world is going AI.
Yeah.
The younger generations are going to accept it like that, the digital currencies. That's perfect for me. It's perfect for you. And China's going to lead the way in it. And they are leading the way. I was always like, because Bitcoin was the one, and again, it's that generation's currency. It's going to be tough. I think there'll be a place for Bitcoin, and very interesting with Bitcoin, even though it's way down from when it was 60,000, it's still at 16,000. And when you go back, 11 years ago, it started at 0, and it's been in the $16,000 range now for months. It hasn't gone down from there. The only thing that I think it's going to stop it is when they come out with digital. And this is what we said going back to 2020, when our magazine cover was from dirty cash to digital trash. When the governments when they go fully digital, they're not going to want any competition, and they're going to make it very hard for it. That's the only way we see it going down. But we still see Bitcoin, as all the cryptocurrencies, as the one that's going to stabilize until they do that and it becomes the real deal. And it's going to take a few years for that to happen. It's going to start gradually, and then all of a sudden it'll end and we'll all be digital. Yeah, they have to. But where's the competition to the dollar? That's the whole issue. And when you look at the yuan, what does it account for? Like 3 or 4% of the whole situation in trading. And the euro,
Right.
Where's the euro going to go?
Let me ask you this.
That could be a reality if something like that happens. But the way it stands is now, no. There's no competition for the dollar, even though the dollar should be in the toilet. Again, you're $31 trillion in debt. You just put another fake $1.7 trillion in there. This thing should be going way down. But again, where's the competition? But as you said, if they start coming out and saying, no, our currency is backed by gold, the United States is backed by nothing. I want to tell you a quick story. I have a photo here of me and John Connolly in front of the book depository. That was where Kennedy got shot, and Connolly took the bullet in the back. He wanted to meet me, 1992. As we're going back into the Anatole Hotel, he said to me, I read your book, Trend Tracking. I wrote that book in the late 80s. And he said, it was far better than Megatrends Time magazine. He said, it's a fine piece of work. He said, but you don't have a clue what's going on. He said, I know your heart's in the right place, but you don't have a clue what's going on. This is John Connolly, the guy the governor of Texas that took the bullet in the back. He said, but you don't have a clue what's going on, and neither do the American people. This is also the John Connolly that became, under Republican Richard Nixon, that was the Treasury Secretary that took the United States off the gold standard. You don't have a clue what's going on, and neither do the American people. Because if they knew what was going on, there'd be a revolution in this country. 1992. This is a man, again, we stayed in contact, by the way, until he died in April, from October to February, and he died in April. And so what I'm saying is the whole game is rigged. A thing just came out. I was very respectful to him, you know. I knew he was going to die because his hands had all these blotches on it. He was on heavy doses of prednisone. And my father, may he rest in peace, died of the same thing because he worked in a shipyard during the war and died of asbestos poisoning. So I knew Connolly was on the way out, and that's why he was talking to me the way he did. And I wanted to be very respectful to him. You call this a democracy? What am I, 6 years old? We're bringing freedom and democracy around the world, and if you don't have a lot of money, you can't run for crap anywhere in this country?
Yeah.
No, it's the Supreme Court ruling that made that illegal. It was back in 2010. No, the whole game is rigged, like I said. Look at the clowns. Look at the clown show right in front of your eyes. How that guy Beto O'Rourke down in Texas, right? Oh yeah, $100 million to run for governor. Oh, and he lost. Stacey Abrams over in Georgia, $100 million midterm elections to run for governor, and she lost. What democracy are you talking about? D-U-H, democracy. You got it? It's gone. It's gone. That this kind of thing, and people call it a government. I call it a crime syndicate. They're murderers and thieves. How many more wars do they have to start in the name of bringing freedom and democracy? And how much more of our money do they have to steal in the name of too big to fail? Look at that. Look at J.P. Morgan Chase. 5 felonies. Count them. 5 felonies. Hey, how come little Jamie Dimon isn't in jail? Oh, you mean the J.P. Morgan Chase that rigged the precious metals market and only got fined $900 million in 2019? Calm down, Celente. Swallow the crap. Be a good, stupid person and believe the garbage they're shoving down your throat. Well, again, we don't win if this country doesn't, if the world doesn't go to peace. End of story. And the way we win, for me, I want to see a new third party in 2023. And here's my vision of America. RFK Jr. for President of the United States and Judge Andrew Napolitano for Vice President, bringing in both sides. That's the way I see what has to happen. If we keep this current crime syndicate, how can anybody with a brain bigger than a pea look up to a Mitch McConnell, a Lindsey Graham? Hey, here, this, by the way, I just got this framed. President killed. Daily News, here, John Connolly shot. And then this one, RFK goes home. They buried him. RFK Jr., nobody has the heart and spirit that this guy has. Could you imagine your father being assassinated and your uncle being assassinated? The President of the United States? So that would bring, and Napolitano, there's nobody in the United States that knows the Constitution and the Bill of Rights better than him. We need a new third party. As I said, how could you be so stupid to look up to a little Chucky Schumer? One little clown after another, an Adam one jerk after another. These are leading us? If we don't have a new way, it's over. And that's my vision for 2023.